My name is Robert. I've been asked to recount a paranormal experience that I had. Although it took place 15 years ago, it was fairly intense, and I still remember it with great clarity to this day. Um, it was 2004. I had just returned from combat operations with the Marine Corps in Iraq, and I was home. I was at the time, living in Arizona. And so we decided to take a family vacation to visit my sister in Durango, Colorado. My wife and I had kind of split. We had two different cars, and so I went ahead, a day ahead, with my son Aiden. We met my sister at the home she was living in, and the house itself was a small home, nothing significant, one-story home that was built in about 1920. And although that may not seem important, there will be some, they'll provide some context to the story I'm about to tell. When Aiden and I arrived at the house to see my sister, I was coming down with a pretty significant flu. I didn't realize at the time. I had a really bad sinus congestion, and over the course of the next 24 hours, I became quite sick. I had a pretty high fever. The sinus thing I had dropped into my throat, and I had a horribly sore throat. But what also was exacerbated is I became hoarse. I couldn't speak for a period of time, and therefore I really couldn't make any sounds. So my sister thought it was best that I went and just laid down, and she was going to take care of my son at the time, who was pretty young. And so I went in the back bedroom that they had, and I laid down in the bed. So in itself, not a big deal, but I remember I had a pretty fitful sleep, and I remember vividly waking up or opening my eyes. I'm in this pitch black room, and I don't know what time it was, but it was probably in the middle of the night, and I couldn't hear a sound in the house. But laying in the bed, I had a powerful sensation that there was someone standing over me. I could see a human presence, a dark black human presence standing right next to my bed. Remember, I couldn't talk, so I thought at first it was my sister checking on me, but I couldn't make a sound. And then all of a sudden I felt this intense weight on my chest. So I remember for about a few seconds there, this struggle, this tension I had of trying to get up. And then I remember vividly thinking, I'm getting up. Almost like a drill instructor was telling me to get up now. So I pushed forward hard, and I was able to push up and get up on my arms. And whatever was standing there was gone. And so I was a bit, keep in mind, I had been sick for about 24 hours, and I still did not feel well, but I don't know what had happened, but I just decided to get up for a few minutes and kind of shake my head out. So I got up, I went into the living room, turned the light on, and I looked at my watch at that time, and it was probably about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was asleep in the house. So my throat was, I still couldn't make a sound, so I decided to go make myself some hot tea, which I did. I just kind of drank it to kind of soothe my throat a little bit and kind of let my nerves unravel, because I was trying to make sense of what had just happened. I I know I wasn't dreaming. So I decided, after kind of just got myself settled, I went back to bed and I slept the rest of the night without any other issue. So the next day I get up and my voice is better. Is whatever had gone through my throat, whatever had kind of settled in my chest. I had kind of this ripping sensation in my chest from coughing and stuff like that. But at least now I could talk a little bit. And I asked my sister in the morning. It was probably late morning because I'd slept in some. I said, Angela, I said, did you come in my room last night? And she goes, no, I didn't come in there. I said, well, was Byron, her husband? I said, well, did Byron come in the room last night? She goes, no, he was with me all night. I said, she goes, why are you asking that? And I said, well, I just had this really weird experience last night. So I recounted to her what happened. And she stopped for a second and she put down her coffee cup and she goes, what? Tell me again what happened? So I explained to her again what had happened. She goes, she had this kind of thoughtful look on her face and she said, well, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to upset you, but a woman died in this home. And her name was Marilyn. And I think Marilyn paid you a visit last night. And I go, what are you talking about? And so she said that they knew that when they purchased a home that one of the owners had passed away in the home. And that Marilyn would make her presence known at different times. And one of the things she would do oftentimes with them is she would knock a fork off the counter, or she would slide a plate across the table, or she would knock something down to let them know that she was there. And the back bedroom is where she lived, and she probably didn't like the fact that I was there. So that's my paranoia experience.